Thanh Ngọc xin gửi chào thân ái đến quý vị khán giả và các bạn trẻ của đài truyền hình VNTV. Kính thưa quý vị, ngày hôm nay Thanh Ngọc rất hân hạnh được trò chuyện với anh Michael Vũ, là vị giám đốc của văn phòng bầu cử San Diego. Hi Michael, it's my honor to have you here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully, thank you, and it's an honor to being here also.
Thank you so much for being here. All right, so how does it feel to be the first Vietnamese American register of voters county?
You know, it's certainly an honor to be the first within this county to be certainly of Vietnamese descent, and being representing essentially 1.6 million registered voters, this county, in particular the Vietnamese American community.
Awesome. I believe that not only just me, but a lot of people are curious, what is the typical day at work is like for you?
You know, every day is a little bit different. I've been doing this for the last 17 years, and election administration, that is, and I've done it in a variety of different jurisdictions besides just in California. So I've been in Utah, in Salt Lake County, Utah, as well as in Ohio, where the city of Cleveland is at, and then coming here afterwards. And every day is something entirely different. My typical day could be situations like this, talking in front of the media, particularly if we're having an election. And then when we're not having an election, we're really trying to improve our overall operations, making sure that, of course, election day, when the polls are open and voting is occurring for that 13-hour window, everything is going off without a hitch.
So it's actually pretty good that every day it's a difference.
It is. It's a lively, you know, there's always going to be certain things that are going to be controversial in nature, sensitive in nature that we need to address. But for the most part, it's the typical day is making sure that our operations is running properly and that we're always on time in terms of conducting an election. We are an event-driven organization. We have one day, we all prepare, the whole department is prepared for one specific day, and that's election day. And for a county this size, which I consider a super county in terms of overall size, we recruit anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000 poll workers for a county-wide election. That we become, if you will, one of the largest employers for the county with that many people, but for just one day. So,
you know, I know that you're really busy, but what are some of the obstacles that you have encountered while working as a register of voters county?
Well, I think one of always the part is making sure that everyone is getting their respective ballots. I think some of the challenges, I wouldn't say they're so much as challenges as much as they are opportunities, is that we have a very diverse population here. We not only serve the community in English, we serve the community in four other different non-English languages, including Vietnamese, Chinese, Filipino, and Spanish. And we may be receiving more languages depending on federal requirements in upcoming years. And so when we conduct an election, we're not just conducting one election, it's like we are conducting 5 elections all at the same time. Wow. So that, I would say that would be a challenge, if you will, to making sure that everything is running on cue, on sync in terms of an overall election, because we can't conduct an election, and certainly we can't delay an election either.
I see. So putting aside the obstacle that you have encountered, what are some of the fun that you have had so far? You
know, we have a great staff of individuals. Currently we have 64 permanent full-time staff members, and I just take a great pride in working with these 64, I consider 64 colleagues of mine on a daily basis. They each have such great strengths in what they do. I love the ability to interact with the public, also being able to really communicate and provide a public service for this county. You know, we are part of the whole county government system, and our Board of Supervisors have always been very supportive of our office, supportive of me, as well as our Chief Administrative Officer, Helen Robbins-Meyer. And so I'm just to be really lucky to be in a position like this and having great support all the way from our leadership ranks all the way down to our staff members.
Kính thưa quý vị khán giả, anh Michael Vũ là người Việt đầu tiên được nắm giữ chức vụ giám đốc văn phòng bầu cử tại San Diego. Anh có chia sẻ với Thanh Ngọc đó là đối với anh thì mỗi ngày làm việc là một cái sự khác biệt khác nhau, bởi vì anh được đi đến rất là nhiều nơi và gặp gỡ rất nhiều người. Tuy nhiên khi mà trước mỗi một cái cuộc bầu cử sắp diễn ra đó thì anh rất là bận rộn, là bởi vì nói là một cuộc bầu cử nhưng thực ra có đến 5 cuộc bầu cử khác nhau. Là vì sao? Là bởi vì ngay tại văn phòng bầu cử của anh phải phục vụ cho những cộng đồng với những sắc tộc khác nhau như Việt Nam, Philippines, Mễ Tây Cơ và Trung Hoa. Speaking about the awesome staff members that you have, the special election is coming up on November 19th.
That's correct.
All right. So is there like anything that you want to shout out to the Vietnamese community about the election coming up, or if you can explain more about the process of voting.
You know, one of the things with this upcoming November 19th election for the city of San Diego, we're doing it on behalf of the city in this case, is of course, and I guess it was kind of an obstacle because it was unanticipated, and that's why it's called a special election. I think if I was speaking with the Vietnamese American community out there, I think that is, we know that you need to go out there and vote. The registration deadline has passed, and that was November 4th, but if you are registered to vote, certainly make sure that you either go to the polls. Now, for the Vietnamese American community, we are a very robust electorate. There's approximately 20,000 registered voters within this county that are Vietnamese, what we believe are Vietnamese Americans. And 15,000 of that 20,000 are living within the city of San Diego. So that's about 75% of the entire county are living within the city of San Diego. Now, of that number, we've sent approximately, I would say, about 9,000 mail ballots to. So there are 9,000 mail ballots that need to come back to us. So those people that are sitting and trying, it's a very simple contest. It's 11 candidates, one contest for the office of mayor, for those individuals to cast their ballot and then send it back through the mail. If you're not a vote by mail voter, certainly make sure you go to the polls. And one of the things is, if there's any questions as to where to go and vote, we've sent out nearly 675,000 sample ballot and voter information pamphlets. And we, again, translate this in all the respective languages that I mentioned. So again, Vietnamese, Spanish, Filipino, and Chinese, as well as in English. And on the back of it, we'll list the polling location that you will need to go to on election day. Again, and the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night on November 19th.
Oh, wow. And how would you go around and recruit the members to help out with the election?
So in this election, for every election, we need a number of different volunteers for the election. And within the ranks of not only providing services where we translate all of our election materials in Vietnamese, we also require bilingual poll workers. So we need Vietnamese bilingual poll workers who will volunteer their time. And in this election, we need 173 out of the nearly 2,500 poll workers that we're going to recruit for this upcoming election. The 173, we've recruited everyone. However, we still need people because there are always those cases where individuals will be dropping out. So it's a very difficult task. You know, we have a great Vietnamese coordinator within our office. His name is Su Nguyen. I'm sure he's well known within the San Diego Vietnamese community as well as the community at large. He does a great job within our office. And with him and our poll worker recruitment staff, they've recruited the 173 individuals, but we need more individuals. And so for those people that are listening today, there's still time to sign up. We do pay a stipend, $75 to $175. If you serve as a standby poll worker, we still pay you. That is, a standby poll worker is generally a person that sits at home, and if they get a call that's saying, hey, we need a poll worker on election morning, we contact you. You're guaranteed $75, and if we call you, you'll get paid whatever the sum is of what position you serve on election day. So that's certainly something that to be aware of. And then if you're a general voter, you know, make sure you read your information. There's a lot of information in the sample ballot and voter information pamphlet. Become informed about the election itself, vote, and get out there and vote. So spend some time. You know, I think that's one of the things that I can't impart enough amongst the Vietnamese American community is that in the 2012 November election, we had a 77% turnout overall in the entire county. That's about 1.2 million people voted in that election. Within the Vietnamese American community, 69% of individuals voted in that. A little bit less, but that's actually, I think, a positive sign that Vietnamese Americans are going out there and vote. Do we want that number to increase? Absolutely, and I would wish that anyone that's listening today that are living within the city go out there and vote on election day.
I see. So how could someone go apply or in helping out and then get involved with the special election?
I think the easiest way at this point is contacting us directly. Our telephone number is 858-565-5800. Contact us. There's certain buttons to push, and it'll get directed to our poll worker recruitment staff. And we'll certainly train you so that way you know what to do on election day. And there's certainly you'll be working with 3 other individuals on that day.
I see. So last but not least, do you have a message that you could want to give to the VNTV audiences or the young generation Vietnamese Americans in general?
Well, I think whether it's young and old or more senior, I would say one of the most important things is that, you know, there's this notion of what does democracy mean, what does voting mean. There may be certain language barriers, there may be certain limited proficiency in English that people don't take the next step in actually engaging themselves to go out there and register and vote. Let me just say that for our office, we have a number of different services that we provide. We have probably one of the most comprehensive language programs out there, where we translate all of our materials, particularly in Vietnamese. Our ballot, a copy of the ballot is here, which is also in Vietnamese. And certainly we have bilingual poll workers at the polling locations. So there shouldn't be a reason why. We're trying to break down those respective barriers. And if there was one message, is for every individual to become engaged and civically participate. And the easiest way and probably the most fundamental of any civic engagement is the fundamental aspect of getting out there and vote.
Kính thưa quý vị, để giúp cho chúng ta tìm được ra một người xứng đáng nhất, một người có khả năng để có thể lèo lái con tàu San Diego của chúng ta, để thành phố của chúng ta ngày càng phát triển, thì tất cả đều trông chờ vào lá phiếu của quý vị. Anh Michael Vũ thành thật khuyến khích mọi người chúng ta nên đi bầu cử. Có rất là nhiều người trong cộng đồng của chúng ta gặp trở ngại về cái vấn đề ngôn ngữ đó, thì ở văn phòng bầu cử mà anh Michael Vũ vừa chia sẻ ở đây đó là sẽ có rất là nhiều người giúp đỡ, những cái người nhân viên có thể nói tiếng Việt có thể giúp đỡ chúng ta. Nếu như quý vị có nhận được một cái lá phiếu như thế này thì quý vị có thể đem tới, hoặc là đem tới cái văn phòng bầu cử ở cái địa chỉ ngay phía sau. Tất cả những cái lá phiếu phải được nhận về văn phòng bầu cử trước 8 giờ tối ngày 19 tháng 11. Còn quý vị nào mà muốn được đăng ký tham gia hoặc là làm việc cho văn phòng bầu cử thì quý vị có thể liên lạc số 858 566 5800, 858 566 5800. Quý vị có thể được trả công đến 75 đồng một ngày lận đó quý vị. So, you know, I wish you the best of luck with everything. Thank you so much for representing the Vietnamese American community. And thank you for all the good work you and your staff member have been doing for the San Diego County in general.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Kính thưa quý vị khán giả và các bạn trẻ, chương trình trò chuyện với Thanh Ngọc đến đây là kết thúc. Hẹn gặp lại quý vị trong chương trình kỳ sau. Thân ái chào tạm biệt.